Hey guys, welcome to this Flexbox tutorial. Today we're going to learn a lot about this CSS resource. So if you learned something, if you like this video, please press the like button and subscribe to my channel to receive a lot of videos about web development. So let's go. And here I have some slides, some theory about Flexbox, and after that we're going to have a lot of practice to try these rules on the web browser, okay? So what is Flexbox? It is a CSS layout methodology that simplifies the creation of flexible and responsive layouts, so we can achieve complex layouts with just a few rules, and we don't need to use position or other display rules or the float rule. So we just use the flex property, okay? And why use Flexbox? The resource simplifies alignment and distribution of space among items within a container and solves limitations of traditional layout methods like float and inline block. So if you use CSS for a long time, you know that build complex layout is difficult with the resource that we had in the past, like position and float. Okay, so with Flexbox we simplify this a lot. Okay, and to start we need to have a flex container, a paired element with display flex that controls the behavior of flex items. So this is the first thing to do. We need to create an element that will wrap another element that will be the child of this parent element, and we need to add this rule of display flex on the parent element. Okay, and the flex items are the direct child elements of the flex container. Main axis direction defined by the flex direction, so we have a rule that defines the directions that the items are shown in the main container or the parent elements. And we have a lot of possibilities like row reverse, column, and column reverse. We're going to see this in the practice, okay? And about the properties, so we have two types of properties: the container properties and the item properties. With the container, we can change all the items, all the child behavior with just adding rules to the parent element, okay? But if we need some specific change or we need to move a specific item, we are going to use the item properties. So we have the flex direction. This changes the direction of the items. We can also add the flex wrap that will create a possibility to break the line when the elements are. So we have the flex wrap. This is a rule that will break lines, that will make the elements break lines, okay? Or we can leave with the no wrap, so the elements will stretch the maximum possible to keep the one line layout, okay? We can position the elements with the justify content and the align items rule, or with the align content. These three change the position of the elements in the x-axis, and this other two change the position of the elements in the y-axis. So when we are working with the flex, we are also working with axis. So we have the x, so we have the horizontal axis and the vertical axis, okay? And don't worry, we are going to see a lot about of this in the practice of this class, okay? And in the item properties, we have order that changed a specific element order. We can change how elements grow or shrink with these two properties. We also have flex bases that will define a minimum size of an element. We have this shortcut property that is the flex. This property can define these three values in just one property. It's like the merging or padding property that they have their shortcut version or the shorthand property version. Okay, and the line self is a rule to align an item so we break the original flow of the direction. Okay, we can change just one item with these rules here. So this is it for the theory. Now we're going to practice all those rules in our editor. Let's go. So here guys, I have my VS Code open with two files. I will start with this template. So we will not write HTML. We are focusing on CSS, okay? And you can get this file or copy this content here on this repository, okay? I will leave this link on the description of this video. So we'll just need to click on this link and get the contents. This is the initial content of the HTML, and the CSS is complete, okay, but you just need to get these lines here until the 15th line, okay? So if you copy these files to a folder, you can also download they here, okay? Clicking this green button, after that the download zip option, and you just need to put them in the same folder, okay? And open them in your browser. Open this HTML with the live server extension, and will be good to go, okay? Like this, like I will do here now. So here I have the files with the initial layout, and we will apply the flex to those elements here, okay? And if you want to learn more about CSS and the HTML with me, you can get my course at Udemy. I will leave the link of the course at the description with a special discount for you that is watching this video now, okay? It's a complete course with more of 10 hours of length, and also covering a lot of topics about HTML and CSS with a lot of projects. And also you can see the reviews. They are talking about how I teach and about the course content. And if you choose to take this course, I will be there to help you with and doubts that you can have about the concepts of HTML and CSS. Okay, so let's proceed. So guys, here I have the code editor side by side with our browser, okay, with the starting template that I gave to you, okay? So the first thing we are going to do is to add some base styles here to all the flex container that we have and all the flex items that we have, because these classes are repeated in all of our code to give a better visualization of the elements, okay? So let's add here. We just need to have a background color of EEE, okay? And in the flex item, we have a background color of blue that we can add 21, 96, and F3, okay? So here we have the styles. We're going to add a blue color and a little padding to the items, okay? So we can start with this. So first I want to teach you how to add the style, the flex to a container, okay? So we just need to add the display rule, okay, with the value of flex. This will start the flexbox in all of our containers. You can see that the position of the elements change because the default position of flex is row, okay? But we also have a possibility to add a column layout, okay? We're going to see later in the other examples, okay? So this is the first thing we need to do, okay? Instead of working with margin in the elements, we can add a spacing with the rule of gap, okay? and we choose the number of pixels that we want, like 10 pixels. So now the items are spaced 10 pixels of each other. Okay, so it's the way we can give spacing with Flexbox. So we add this spacing in the container, not in the element. But we also can use padding or margin if we want. Okay, so down here we have this example that is the same that we added before. Okay, but I am explaining here that we have the default behavior, like I said here. It is the row position, okay? The row flow. But we also have the column flow. So let me copy this class here. And now we can change the flex direction to column, okay? So now we have a columnar layout. So here we have a layout that is oriented by the horizontal axis, and here we have a layout that is oriented by the vertical axis. And some rules of Flexbox change depending on the direction we use. If you use row, they will have some effects, and if we use column, they have other effects. Okay, so if I grab this class here, the first one, direction row on line 23, and add the flex direction row, we see that nothing changes because, like I said, this is the default. Okay, so these are the directions that we can have. Okay, now we're going to see the wrap. So wrap is the point of, or the possibility of breaking lines. So if the content reaches the end of our screen, we can change to break the line or to keep the same line in just one row, but it will stretch the elements. So it will shrink the elements. Okay, so let's see how can we can achieve this. So if we get this class here, we add the flex wrap with the value of wrap and save here. Nothing changes, okay, but if I inspect the elements here and change to the mobile visualization with this button here, we can resize the screen. Okay, so pay attention on this container here. If I shrink here, we need to add the viewport rule here in the HTML. So just press here meta column VP tab, and now we have this meta tag that is responsible to add responsiveness to our page. Okay, so we are missing that tag, so the flex doesn't work properly. Okay, so now everything is working as it should. Okay, and I will just resize here the elements and pay attention to the wrap section. So as you can see, the elements are breaking lines because we choose the wrap option. If we stay on the default, that is no wrap value, we have this behavior here. So if you get this class, no wrap, and add the flex wrap with the no wrap value, we have the same behavior. It will keep the elements in just one line. Okay, as you can see here, we have the elements just in one line. They shrink what they can, no, but we have a limitation for this, so it creates a scroll on the page. Okay, but in this case, probably we're going to choose the wrap option. Okay, this is used for responsiveness. Okay, to adapt our screen to mobile phones. Okay, so here we didn't add any media carrier options or media carrier rules. We are just adding Flexbox. So we have a lot of potential with this resource of CSS, okay? And here we have some types of justifying content, okay? So let me grab this comment here. And we have the default that is start, so the items are aligned to the left, but we can change this to justify end with the rule of justify content, okay? Justify content with the value of flex end. So now the items are aligned to the right, okay? And we can have the items aligned to the center with the value of center. So now the items are centered. We can have the space between options. So it's like a center alignment, but it leaves some spaces between the items. So space between. Now, as you can see, we have some sort of center alignment, but with spaces between the items, okay? And we can also choose the justify space around. So this will leave spaces on the left and the right side, space around. So the content, the items doesn't get on the borders, no? We have this spacing here and here. And the spacing that remains is divided by the same proportional, like you can see here. And we also have another type of spacing that is called space evening. So we have now looking more like a center alignment, but with equal spacing in every blank space that we have. So if we add more items, it will give us space between them, between the borders, okay? And the flex option will try to give the same proportion here and so on, okay? So these patterns are often used when in web development. So we save a lot of time using the Flexbox resource. We also have the align items. So like I said, we have a way to work with the horizontal axis that is using justify content, like you can see here. But we also have a way to work with the vertical axis, and it is using the align items rule, okay? So for those examples, I need to add height to those divs. So I will add here a class of align items. And in the flex containers of align items, we have a height of 300 pixels. Oh, sorry, I need to save the HTML. So as you can see here, the flex element by default, they try to stretch the elements over the height that we have, okay? So how can we change this? We can use the on height, okay, to don't make this behavior of stretch. And we achieve this with the align items start. So now the items have the on height. No, this is an automatic height because we don't have height defined. So it just sums the content area and the padding. No. And we also can put the items to the end of the container with this rule here. So align items end. So as you can see here, it's the opposite. And we have the center option. The center option centralize the items in the vertical axis. So align items center. And here we have the item centered, and we have the baseline that center the items by the content, by their content. So how can we see this? Here we have some classes with tall and short names. Okay, so I will add tall height 100 pixels and short height 50 pixels. So here we can see that the behavior changes in every container. Okay, because now we have some heights defined. So as you can see, they still almost the same behavior, but we have some changes because of the height. Okay, and I will add here in this line a paragraph with the same text. Now we have the content not aligned in this div here. Okay, so how can we center by the content? We use the option baseline. So I get this class and I will add align items baseline. So now the items are centered but by the content. Okay, so there are no much use case for this, but we have this option on Flexbox. Okay, and here we have another possibility to align the items but by multiple lines, so we can use the align content option. So let's get this class here and add some base styles. So first I will add a height, okay, of 300 pixels. Now the items are stretched, but it is okay. But it is okay. What we need to do is to change the initial height of the elements. We can use the flex base property to do it. So here we have a box class. So in this box class, I will give a rule of flex 30%. So now the elements have 30% of width, okay, as you can see here. Now I can also add the height to them, like 20 pixels. And how can we use the align content? We just need to put it in the parent element, and if we choose like start, we have the items aligned, all of them aligned to the top of the container. We can change to end to have the items in the bottom of the content. We can change to center and so on. The values are the same we have here. Okay, start, end, center. But this is used to align a group of items. So it's like a multi-line alignment. Okay, and we can also pick elements to change the order, like you can see here. Now we are going to change to the individual properties, and if you pay attention here, we have the item 1 with the order 3. So I want to change this item to this position and this item to this position. How can I do this? With the order property. So I will get these classes. Order 3 will have the order number 3 value. Okay, so this is how we apply this rule. And the order 1 will have the order 1 value. Okay, so here we have a problem, because if some items doesn't have the order, they will like be lost on the order flow. So if I save here, you can see that the first element is the order 2. So I need to set the order of that element, order 2, and now they are ordered by the order attribute. As you can see here, we have the HTML in the following the item order, okay, but we changed the order with CSS with no trouble. If you need to do this with position, we're going to use a lot of absolute position, and it's not good for responsiveness, for code maintenance. So Flex has an easy way to do this, okay? And the Flex grow property is how the item grows in a container. So if we set this class grow1 with flex grow1, the elements will stretch all the space they have, and as you can see here, the item 2 has no width and no grow set, so it has just its own width. Like I said before, the content summed with the padding. And these other two have the same width because they are configured with this rule. But if I add to the grow2 class here in the middle, the same rule, now they have the same width. And if I add, or if I change this value to 2, now it will have twice the size of the other elements. And if I choose this to, and if I change to 3, the size of the item 2 is the triple of this other 2 here. So we can change the width by a proportional called grow, okay? And we also have the options to align items individually. So I will get this class here. I will add a height, and as you can see, the items are stretching, but we can change this. If we change this one, first one, with align self, because it is aligning itself, okay, to the start. So we have it respecting its own height, okay, and we also have the option to align to the center using the same property, align self, but with the value center. And now item 2 is centered. And if we want to align in the end of the container, we can use align self end. So as you can see, the values of the property repeat a lot, so it is good because we can remember what they do in other rules, so the behavior will be almost the same or the same, okay? You just need to know when you are changing the container and also all the child elements, or when we need to change an element itself, okay? This is the key point of Flexbox. So guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Please press the like button, subscribe to this channel, it's very important to me. If you learned something, I think you can learn much more by getting our HTML and CSS course. It has a lot of content about HTML and CSS. We see more about Flexbox, and also create projects with this resource, so it's wonderful. We are going to practice a lot, so we are going to make a portfolio, okay? So it's a good next step for you. And for today, this is it. Hope you enjoyed, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.